Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we have another video, and this video comes under CFOP. So this is going to be F2l. So under CFOP you have cross, which is the basic step of solving a cube, the white cross. Then you have F2l, which basically means solving the corner pieces and the edge pieces, so basically the rest of the first layer and the second layer simultaneously. And the third step after the cross and F2l is OLL. And then after that we have PLL. And then you've virtually solved the whole cube like a speed cuber. So there are four things: cross, F2l, OLL and PLL. In this video we're going to be doing F2l, and what that basically means is after you have solved the white cross and joined each of the colours, pink, blue, orange and green, with their centre pieces, you can solve the corner pieces and the second layer simultaneously. So let's scramble the cube and I'll give you an example solve. So, the cube has just been scrambled, and from now, I'm going to show you the white face, and it looks like this. So, we have the cross solved. So, I recommend you to learn F2l first, then go on to the cross, the advanced cross. So, you should know how to solve the cross from the last video. So, this is the advanced cross. The advanced cross after F2l. So, today's video is F2l. So, once you've solved the cross, normally in the beginner's method, what you would do is you would insert an corner piece. So this is white, orange and blue. So you would align this on top of where it needs to go into, and you would do the 4-move method. Remember this if you can. So it's up, inwards, down, outwards. And as you can see, that's been solved. But with F2l, this piece needs to be on the top for it to do so. We could solve this piece and this piece at the same time, so the corner pieces and edge pieces could be solved simultaneously. So I'm going to show you an example. So here I have white, pink and green. And what I can do, this is already in the place above where it needs to go, so it needs to go here, above where it needs to go. So I'm going to align it above where it needs to go, so it needs to go in this square here. So you can see pink, green and white, so it goes right here, so pink, green and white. And now we also look for the green and white. So we know we're already trying to solve the white face first, so just ignore white. When I say green and pink corner piece, that basically means I'm referring to green and pink that goes here. So let's look for green and pink edge, and that's this one here. And what we can do now is, the first step is to put it on top of where it needs to go, and we've done that. And before that, you need to make sure they're both on the top layer, green and pink. So if they're not on the top layer like this piece, I'm going to show you what to do to counter that in a minute. But first, what you need to do is you need to make sure they're both on the top layer, then make sure the corner piece is on top of where it needs to go into, and now from here, you need to move it. You need to move the top face to the right or to the left. Either way, it doesn't really matter. So we could move it to the left, and that's what we're going to do. So to judge whether to move it to the left or right is if you can still see the white face. So I'm going to put it in this angle here, so straight down. So let's rotate it to the right. If we rotate to the right, then the white face has disappeared. This white face here cannot be seen, and we cannot work with this. But going back, if we go to the left, we can still see this white face, which we want. So we're going to do this. So you need to rotate it to where you can still see the white face. And the next step is to put them right next to each other. So you need to put your finger parallel to this white face here, which would be like this. And it would go right down the middle here. So parallel. So it's not going to be this way, it's going to be this way because it's parallel. So you just need to work on this to remember this, because this is what I was struggling with at first. So it needs to be parallel, So you're going to do this, put your finger down the middle, and you're going to look on what squares you're touching. You are touching these two pieces here. I was touching this one, but as you should know, if you're a beginner, you shouldn't be watching this video. Go and watch the beginner tutorial first. This is actually the centerpiece. You cannot rotate this anyhow. So this is going to be the same wherever you go. So it's going to be one of these two squares because it was parallel. So my finger was touching these two. So from here, if the top face is the same colour, so this one is green and pink is on the top, and this one is green and pink, but green is on the top, so they're not the same. If they're both the same, they go right next to each other because they're already paired. But if they're opposite colours, it would go here, away from it. So let's put our finger back on. If they were both the same on the top, it would go here. But if they were different colours, they'd go away from each other, so here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate the face away. So I want to rotate it downwards. So the point is from here, we want to rotate it downwards this way. And now from here, we want to get this piece to here. So we're going to rotate it once around and rotate back. And it's been done. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put this above where it needs to go into. So pink, green and white above where it needs to go into. And it needs to go into the square here, so we just put it back. And now from here, what I can do is you can actually do this. And I inserted both of those at once. So let's do another example. This time we're going to do this piece that goes into here, which is going to be white, green, and orange. And it's this one, so we need to put it on top of where it needs to go into. And this time it's perfect. So it's not going to go this way. So the first step is to make sure they're both on the top. And they aren't. So we're going to go find it first. And we have found it. So it's the green and orange piece. So it was already here. So that was my bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move it out of the way. So if you move it out of the way this way, then you need to get it onto the top this way. Because if you do it this way, it's going to put this onto the bottom layer. And if you do it this way, if you move it to this way, then you have to rotate it this way. Not this way because it would interfere with this piece again. So whatever way you move it, just remember to remove this out into the other way. So this way. And now I'm going to put the white, green and orange back on top of where it needs to go into. And now they're apart from each other. So they're not right next to each other. Now what I can see from here is they're both on the top. The next step is to make sure what way it goes. We need to just check. It can't go this way, so let's just make it aligned. It can't go this way because we can't see it anymore. As you can see here, it's gone. But if we do it this way, we can still see the white face. So what we do from here... So, actually, one more thing. I'm going to show you something very important. If we do it this way, where we can't see it, I'm going to show you what happens. So we're going to rotate it. So we're going to make sure what one is perpendicular to the white face. And as you can see here, perpendicular to white is one of these two squares. And since they are the opposite, so we're going to make it perpendicular. It doesn't go here, it goes here. So your finger goes across the middle. So now it's perpendicular, as you can see here. So it goes on either one of these two squares. But since the top colour is different, because this is orange and this is green, it stays here. So what I can do from here is I can turn it. And what I have to do from here is I have to align it first to where it needs to go. Oh, and it actually works. So that's something I've learned as well today. So it doesn't even matter what way you actually turn the face when it's white. So let's do another example. So the final one is going to be white, pink and blue. So it's going to be this piece here. So it's just this last one. We're going to make sure that both of the pieces are on the top. So blue and pink. So I watched a tutorial on how to on how you turn it, so to make sure it's the right way. And it said you have to do it until you can see the white face. The reason why they do that is to save more time when you do the solve, rather than keep turning your fingers around the cube, but it would be easier to just make sure the white face is where you can see it. That's probably why it was designed to be like that. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to align it once more for you. So it's white, blue and pink, goes on top of where it needs to go into. And now we look for its edge piece, which is blue and pink. And now we move it away from where we can see it. We can still see it now, so it can't be this way. This would still work, as I just proved to you a minute ago. So we can do it from here. We can still see it here. Now I'm going to rotate the face away. But one more thing, since both of the colours are the same, let's put the finger in the middle. And this, it goes right next to each other if they've got the same on the top. And they do. So in this case, we're going to rotate the face away, turn, and come back. And as you can see, it's been solved. And now from here, you want to, for inserting, you want to make sure the top colours are aligned with their centerpiece. So this is pink and this is blue, so it doesn't work. It needs to be like this, pink and pink. So it needs to be blue and pink. It needs to be the opposite. As you can see here, it needs to be like a sandwich sort of effect. So you have pink, blue, and then pink again. Rather than having blue, blue, pink, you want to have something different in the middle. So just remember, the top colour is the same as the centerpiece. So now what we do from here is to insert it. We're going to do the left variation. So we go up and across and back down. So we haven't actually done orange and blue yet. We haven't inserted this piece. This was already solved to begin with. So we're going to find this piece here. And now what we're going to do is we're going to remove it. So I need to rotate once more. So I'm going to remove it. And as you can see here, it's on top of where it needs to go into. So make sure both of the pieces are on the top layer. So white, orange and blue. Orange and blue. So they're both on the top layer. And now what I can do from here is I can align it on top of where it needs to go into. So it needs to go into here. And now we're going to turn it one way where we can still see the white face. So let's make it like this even. So if it was this way, we can't see the white. But if it's this way, we can still see the white. So we're going to do this. And now from here, we're going to put our finger down the middle, perpendicular to this white face. And we're going to check if the colours on the top match. If they don't, it stays here. So it either goes on these two squares. If the colours on the top match, they go next to each other. If they don't match, they go on opposite faces, like so. Now what we're going to do from here is we're going to return, because this is already in the right place because they're opposite, we're going to return it on top of where it needs to go into, as you can see here, orange, blue and white. And now from here we can do our left variation of the four move method. Sorry, not the four move method. We can do our left variation. So it's left, and we insert it like so. And now I'm going to show you some other scenarios of how F2l could work. So I have another scramble here, and we're going to solve this together. So we're going to put the white on the bottom. The first step you need to know for F2l is to make sure both of the pieces you're trying to insert are on the top. So for white, green and orange, we need to make sure this is on the top, and we also need to make sure that green and orange is on the top. And they both are, so they can be solved. So what we're going to do is we're going to place it on top of where it needs to go into, and it needs to go into this square here. So it's going to go down here. So white, green and orange is going to go into this square, so we put it on top of where it needs to go into. And from here, what we're going to do is we're going to turn it one place in one direction. So let's just make sure you can see them both. So if it was turned this way, you wouldn't be able to see the white face. But if it was turned this way, you'd still be able to see the white face. So what we're going to do from now is we're going to check the colours on the top. This is green on the top, and this is green on the top, so that's good. So now we put our finger across the middle and check, and it's going to go here. So why is it going to go here? So you need to make it parallel to this white face, and it goes on either one of these squares. If they're the same, I told you they go next to each other. So we're going to rotate the face and turn twice, and as you can see they match now. And now what we're going to do now, this doesn't work because I told you we need to match the top color with their center. So it's going to be green with their center. Now from here we're going to do this move, so right, inwards and down. We've solved the green and orange colors. And now from here, another problem that you might encounter is the white face on the top. I'm going to show you what you can do in this instance. It's a lot easier and a lot more simple to solve. So I'm gonna actually find a good example first. So you look for a good example on this cube, and we have found one, and it's this one here. So it's going to be white, green, and pink. So make sure that both of the pieces, the corner and the edge, are on the top. So we have white, green, and pink, and green and pink. So they're both on the top. Now we need to align the corner piece on top of where it needs to go into. It goes into here. White, green, and pink. So it goes in this corner here. So now all we need to do is we need to look for where the white piece is. If it's this way. But no, this time it's on the top. I've already taught you what to do. If the white face was here, pretend this green face was the white face, you wouldn't be able to see it now. So instead you would turn it this way and continue from this way. And if this was the white face, pretend the pink face is the white face, you would turn it this way because you can still see it. It wouldn't be turned this way because you can't see it no longer. But what happens if it's on top? So what we're going to do now is we're going to look for our edge piece. We can simply ignore this piece, and what we can do is we can find our edge piece, the green and pink one. And now what we can do is we can join it with the colour it needs to go into. We can join green and green. And now you need to rotate it away. So you wouldn't rotate it this way towards pink and pink. You would rotate it the opposite away from where pink is. And now from here, you need to put this white, pink and green piece on top of that edge piece, like so. And now once you've put it on top, you rotate back. And now as you can see, you have the green and green. You don't want that, as I told you. You need to make sure the top colours match with their centre. So it's going to be pink match with the pink centre, as you can see here. Now what you can do is you can do the right variation, right, inwards, down, and now you've solved pink and green. Now I'm simply going to just show you how to solve the rest of the cube. And this one's going to be fairly straightforward. So this one we have white, orange and blue. And now what we can do from here is we need to move them away from each other. So you can see they're right next to each other, which is not good. So I'm going to move them away and turn once more and come back. So this is actually pink. I'm just making it clear for you. So what we have here is we need to make sure both of the pieces we're looking for are on the top. So we have white, blue and orange here. They're both on the top. Now we need to make sure the corner piece is on top of where it needs to go into. So it needs to go into this square here. So since it's not on the top this time, we don't need to do the same variation as last time. And we need to make sure what way it turns. What way does it turn? So I'm going to make it easier for you to see. It doesn't turn this way because the white face disappears, as you can see here. See, look, the white face disappears. But now the white face is still seen. And now from here, what you can do is you can put your finger on top of the cube down the middle parallel to this white face. And now you look at what edges you're touching, and you're touching these two here. If the top pieces are the same colour, they go right next to each other. But in this instance, they're not. It's orange and blue, so it stays here. So now what we do is we return it to where it came from. So what I mean by that is we return the corner on top of where it needs to go into. It needs to go into here. So we put orange, blue, and white on top of here where it needs to go into. And now we can simply just do this method here. So we do right, inwards, and down. And to solve the last one, we just have pink, white, and blue, and we put it on top of where it needs to go into. we make sure the other piece is on the top, and it is. And what we do from here, we turn it this way. Can't be turned this way because it can't be seen. So we turn it this way, and from here, both of the pieces have the same top. So we know it's going to go here, right next to each other, not here. If it was pink on the top, it would go here, but they're both the same colour. They go right next to each other. So what we can do from here is we can rotate the face away, move 2 moves, and now what we can do from here is we need to put the white, pink, and blue face on top of what it needs to go into. It needs to go into here. And now what you can do from here is, actually what you have to do is you need to put the blue, which is on the top with its blue center, and you just do right inwards down, and that is how you do F2l. And we, as you can see here, the first 2 layers have been solved through F2l. So F2l is where you solve the corner pieces and the second layer simultaneously. If it was in the beginner variation, you would simply just solve an edge piece, then you would start the second layer edges, a corner piece, then the second layer edges, and then you would move on to the third layer. The third layer and the final bit of the cube would be OLL and PLL. I'm going to show you the other 3 parts of CFOP in the next video. So, there are 4 parts of CFOP: cross, F2l, OLL, and PLL. In this video we covered F2l, and we have 3 more. And they are the cross, which I need to improve at the cross, and then we have OLL and PLL. And then the whole cube will be solved like a speed cuber. So currently I just do the beginner method, but I do F2l as well. I just need to brush up on my techniques, and I've improved at F2l. So hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video.